The descendants of Julius Caesar and Augustus terminated Rome's first imperial dynasty in 68 AD, when its last ruler committed suicide. Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus, also known as Nero, was the fifth and most notorious emperor of Rome. Throughout the majority of his rule, he was associated with unparalleled extravagance, tyranny, debauchery, and murder, to the point where Roman citizens believed he was the Antichrist. Here are some fascinating details about Rome's iconic and despised ruler. He became emperor at the age of 17. As Nero was older than Emperor Claudius' natural son, Britannicus, he now had a superb claim to the imperial purple. When Claudius was almost certainly poisoned by his wife Agrippina in 54 AD, her young son declared the dish of mushrooms that had done the deed to be the food of the gods. By the time Claudius died, Britannicus was still younger than 14, the minimum legal age to rule, and therefore his stepbrother, the 17-year-old Nero, took the throne. The day before Britannicus was due to come of age, he met a very suspicious death after drinking wine prepared for him at his celebratory banquet, leaving Nero and his equally ruthless mother in undisputed control of the world's greatest empire. He murdered his mother. Having poisoned two different husbands to reach her exalted position, Agrippina was unwilling to relinquish the hold that she had over her son, and was even portrayed face-to-face with him in his early coins. Soon, however, Nero grew tired of his mother's interference. While her influence dwindled, she tried desperately to maintain control over proceedings and her son's decision-making. As a result of her opposition to Nero, the emperor eventually decided to murder his mother. Inviting her to Baiae, he had her set forth on the Bay of Naples in a boat designed to sink, but she swam ashore. Eventually, she was murdered by a loyal ex-slave in 59 AD on Nero's orders at her country house. He was immensely popular during his early reign. Despite his violent image, Nero possessed an uncanny ability to predict which actions would endear him to the Roman people. He quickly became the crowd's favorite after putting on several public musical acts, cutting taxes, and even convincing the king of Parthia to come to Rome and participate in a lavish ceremony. Nero was so popular, in fact, that after his death there were 3 separate attempts by impostors over 30 years to gather support by assuming his appearance, one of which was so successful that it almost led to a civil war. He was accused of orchestrating the Great Fire of Rome. In 64 AD, the Great Fire of Rome erupted on the night of 18 to the 19th of July. The fire started on the slope of the Aventine and ravaged the city for over 6 days. It was noted that Nero was conveniently not present in Rome at the time, and most contemporary writers held Nero responsible for the fire. Sensing this frustration and aggravation, Nero looked to use the Christian faith as a scapegoat. He instigated the persecution of Christians. With the supposed intention of diverting attention away from the rumors that he had instigated the Great Fire, Nero ordered that Christians should be rounded up and killed. He blamed them for starting the fire, and in the subsequent purge, they were torn apart by dogs and others burnt alive as human torches. He built a golden house. Nero certainly took advantage of the devastation of the city, building a lavish private palace on part of the site of the fire. It was to be known as the Domus Aurea, or Golden Palace, and was said, at the entranceway, to have included a 120-foot-long column that contained a statue of him. In addition to Nero's long list of crazy things he had done during his rule, he also castrated and married his former slave, competed in Rome's Olympic Games, and many citizens worried he would return to life as the Antichrist. He is definitely one of the most iconic emperors to ever rule over the great Roman Empire. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to the channel for more content.